Hey guys, Kiwi here. Today I wanted to discuss a certain cliffhanger in episode 707 of The Walking Dead, along with a theory of what may possibly happen in 708. Warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to Season 7 Episode 7 Sing Me a Song, along with possible spoilers for Season 7 Episode 8 the mid-season finale. This video will mainly consist of just Daryl and Jesus, so for a full review of 707, feel free to check out the channel. But first off, in episode 707 we see Carl and Jesus on their way to the sanctuary in the back of a supply truck from the hilltop. Using a syrup bottle, Jesus actually makes a trail to go back home, while Carl obviously has other plans and he tricks Jesus into jumping out alone. Jesus laughs this off, and most people probably wouldn't think anything more of this, but no way Jesus would just let Carl get away with that, right? It isn't that difficult to believe that Jesus would tail them back to the sanctuary, just to try and make sure Carl was alright. He couldn't go back to Hilltop with the intel, the sanctuary's location, along with the fact that Carl snuck in there without telling them that he at least tried to get him back. So nearly 3/4 into the episode, Jesus can actually be seen on top of a truck that Negan is rolling up to the entrance of the sanctuary in with Carl. So Jesus obviously has some sort of magical cloak of invisibility, because I have no freaking clue how the hell he managed to get on top of that. Now when he was first introduced, I do remember him doing something similar to the truck that Rick and Daryl were in, so I suppose it's not that illogical. But wait, there's even more. Once Negan starts driving away, Jesus isn't even seen on the roof of the truck anymore. So where is he? Well, when Daryl speaks up to Negan for the second time this episode, Negan demands Dwight to bring Daryl back to his box for a timeout. When Daryl is being pulled back, you can actually see him look up surprisingly at the top of the truck, but he doesn't say anything. It's almost certainly Jesus that he's looking at, so what is he trying to do? He's probably just jumping off of the back of the truck in some sneaky ninja way, to be honest, but what are his motives? So we know that Daryl has made eye contact with Jesus now, so how could that possibly come into play? Literally right after, in the next scene, Daryl is shown in his box as he hears someone open a door and enter the outside hall. So this unknown person then slips a note under Daryl's cell and quickly wanders off. The note reads "Go now" in all caps, along with a key and I believe a match? So what does this all mean? That's the last that we see of Daryl and Jesus in this episode, so let's think about that for a moment. Daryl just witnessed Negan leave with Carl, so he knows that he's not going to be at the sanctuary right now. It's honestly unlikely for Negan to play the same trick on Daryl again that he played back in episode 703, especially if he's not there to see it. It's true that Simon and Dwight could be testing him, but I honestly don't think that Dwight could be running the show like Negan did, and Simon hasn't been seen around the sanctuary all episode. So Negan is gone. What if this isn't a test? What if it's for real? There are only two people that I can immediately think of who could have done this. The first being Sherry, which isn't very liable, and I'll mention more of that in my review and breakdown of the entire episode, but my second and more reliable guess is that it has to be Jesus. This would explain what the heck Jesus was trying to do getting into the sanctuary, along with giving a reason for Daryl to see him on top of the truck, possibly jumping down. I think it would be really cool to see the same scene but from a different angle and watch it continue as Jesus begins to sneak into the sanctuary. In the mid-season finale teaser trailer released on AMC's YouTube channel, titled "Next on Heart Still Beating," we can actually briefly see Daryl running down a hallway in the sanctuary with the note that he got. So in my eyes it is confirmed, and I'm predicting that Jesus somehow gets a key, slips it to Daryl, and clears out a path for him to escape out of the sanctuary while Negan is away. It's honestly the perfect opportunity for him to escape if he ever would. I don't think this is a Reek situation from Game of Thrones, but let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments. If Daryl escaped, where the hell would he go? He couldn't go back to Alexandria, because if Rick isn't willing to hide a gun from Negan, he's not willing to hide Daryl somehow. Bottom line, Daryl going back to Alexandria would just cause trouble, so where else could he end up? Jesus could possibly bring Daryl back to the hilltop, but after Sasha and Maggie being there, I feel like that's enough Alexandrian refugees trying to stay hidden from Negan. Sasha and Maggie do have the same issue of hiding from Negan due to multiple reasons. First off, he thinks that Maggie is dead. Father Gabriel and Rick told this back to Negan in 704. The second reason that they're hiding from the Saviors is the same core reason as to why Rick and Gabriel lied about Maggie being dead, to hide the fact that they conspired with the Hilltop because they don't want Negan to know that Maggie was there. So if Jesus doesn't want to bring Daryl back to the Hilltop or Alexandria, then where? Daryl isn't just gonna ride off somewhere into the sun, abandoning everyone he's once known. In my mind, that only leaves one other option. Jesus could possibly bring Daryl to the kingdom. Now, we don't actually know if Jesus is aware of the kingdom in the TV show, but we have no reason to believe that he doesn't secretly know that, just like he did in the comics. Now, in the comics, King Ezekiel is actually close friends with Jesus, as he's the one who introduces Rick to Ezekiel in the first place. And in the show, although Carol and Morgan are at the kingdom, the vast majority of characters have no clue about it. And you know what? Daryl could actually become incredibly important and useful, as he could inform everyone at the kingdom of the current situations at hand, which would help them move along the kingdom storyline as well. In the teaser trailer for the mid-season finale, we also see Richard talking with Morgan and Carol about how the saviors can't be trusted, and how something needs to be done. Morgan has already been contemplating whether fighting is the best option or not, especially since Ezekiel is keeping it a secret due to the fact that the kingdom's people would probably revolt if they all knew. If Daryl arrived on their doorstep in his prisoner jumpsuit with Jesus, them along with the news of Glenn and Abe being killed, and Alexandria being scavenged by the saviors the way it has, will be enough to begin the formation of an alliance between the communities, all secret of course. If you guys want more on me talking about how Alexandria and the kingdom could form an alliance to possibly take out the saviors, feel free to check out my previous video on the channel about it. I believe it was half talking about Rashon and half talking about that. One more final note to point out is that Norman Reedus will actually be on Talking Dead next weekend after the mid-season finale, so it is possible that Daryl's escape will have a huge impact on the story. Look forward to my 707 review, along with more predictions, theories, and breakdowns in the near future. Now that Eugene and Rosita have a semi-working bullet factory, all they need are people to help create an army so that they have someone to make bullets for. I'd really appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed it at all or agreed with anything I've said today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out.